At some point, we are going to have to do a whole show about how good this show sounds.
All right, everybody, back after a glorious week off. Welcome to Downballot. We do the show live on Twitch every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. If you're listening to the podcast and you don't know what's going on with that, head on over to twitch.tv/Echoplex Media and follow the channel. And then after you watch a Wednesday show, maybe unfollow the channel. I'm Producer Dave, and you can find me damn near anywhere.
Hey, everybody, this is the Councilman. You can find me on Twitter at THE_Councilman. So check me out. I get pretty frosty occasionally when I'm tweeting on that account. I have a few accounts. If you can find my other accounts, good for you. You can also check in with us and give us your subscriptions on the Twitch device, twitch.tv/Echoplex Media.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, if you're into the whole Patreon thing, like I am, you drop a few bucks It comes every month. You don't even have to think about it. You can automate it. Drop us a few shillbucks. Keep these programs on the air. Producer David's patreon.com/Echoplex.
That's right.
Yay. Go give us some money. And obviously visit the website, echoplexmedia.com, for all of the shows and all of the informations. And Producer Dave, what's going on the other shows this week and weekends?
Yesterday, Meltdown Monday was off. Media Wench took a well-deserved Monday off. Tomorrow, Intellectual Dollar Tree is off. Me and HK definitely need a break from that crazy. Thursday, we're back with Satans and Thetans, Cults and the Satanic Panic, one of our favorite shows around here. Wednesday, I'm off, but I'm closing out a benefit. There's a benefit for someone in the goth DJ community who has unfortunately found out she has breast cancer. So a bunch of people who played a benefit a couple weeks ago decided to get together and throw together another little benefit for that. I'm closing that out. So everybody else gets an hour and I get until I fall down. I start at 11 p.m. Pacific on Friday, and there's no conspiracy bingo Friday. And then Saturday we do the open panel, and then I spin some music. And then of course Sunday is fucking the Clip Panic Attack show.
Lovely.
Panic. And another really important thing, if you hit bang wiki in the chat, we're working on a now space wiki, so that if somebody comes in here and goes, who the fuck is Austin Bennett? We can refer them to the wiki and they can go search for Austin Bennett in the wiki, and they'll get the lore of Echoplex Media and Austin Bennett. I just put it up yesterday, just added the domain to it today. If you'd like to contribute to that, please find me and let me know, because I am not doing this by myself. And I had people in the chat Sunday night saying that I would not be doing this by myself. So we'll see if they are actually correct.
How exciting. And thank you. I did get the link in the Discords, so I will go and check that out. And do I have edits capabilities, or do I just create reads?
Like anybody else, just create an account and hit me up.
Oh, excellent. Let's just do this. That's fantastic. We'll definitely have to have a little down ballot action on there, I'm sure. Some local love action.
Oh yeah, the Rich Tran page. The page for there would definitely be a page for like why we got kicked off of YouTube, and that would include a down ballot, some down ballot shit from the San Jose City Council meeting and the Santa Clara Board of Supervisors, and I would appreciate your input on that. Plus, the sheriff, what's a Sheriff Lori? I forget her last name. She would probably have
Smith.
She would probably get a page on there too. Anything we've talked about a lot, and it would be, of course, from our perspective. It wouldn't be like an accurate historical telling of it by any means. That's not what we're going for.
Absolutely not. We are obviously going for fake news and alternative facts here at all times.
Yeah, so let's get started here. Speaking of fake news and alternative facts, it seems like some prominent athletes are getting caught up in the COVID misinformation. But then there's like a second layer of misinformation that I want to talk about before we hit this clip. The pro sports leagues are vaccinated generally at a higher rate than the rest of the population. When they take those numbers, though, it's not just the players. It's like front of house, back of house, management. It's everyone. But people that are running around saying all your sports players, all your sports teams are refusing to get vaccinated, they're lying to you. I think the NBA is the highest now. Like 96% of their staff is vaccinated. Last time I read. So
very much so. So yeah, but every player has a platform, and they can get loud, right? So even a few players, one here and there, the Warriors had a player as well who was refusing to get vaccinated. They, make waves, and they make a splash, and they have. And I don't know if it demands media coverage, but it gets media coverage.
Certainly does. So I think I'm going to let this clip roll. This one's about a Sharks player. This is from ESPN, and I'm stunned that their player just works.
This just in, we have learned that Evander Kane has been suspended for 21 games without pay for what it says was a lack of compliance with the league's COVID-19 protocols. ESPN had previously reported that Kane used a fake vaccination card. The league also announced that its concurrent investigation into allegations of domestic abuse made by Kane against his estranged wife could not be substantiated. Now, Evander Kane released a statement that reads in part, quote, "I made a mistake, one I sincerely regret and take responsibility for. During my suspension, I will continue to participate in counseling to help me make better decisions in the future," end quote. "When my suspension is over, I plan to return to the ice with great effort, determination, and love for the game of hockey."
So it sounds like he was responding to domestic abuse allegations and not, I tried to pass off a fake vaccine card because I got propagandized on fucking YouTube allegations. It sounded like the response to it was for the one that they found no evidence for. Like, it doesn't sound like, I would think that a better apology on with this would be like, hey, I got swept up in misinformation like many other people. It turns out that vaccines are safe, and I made a decision to pawn off a fake vaccine card. That's illegal. I shouldn't be doing illegal things. Like, what the fuck, that apology? I'm going to get counseling? What, for being an anti-vaxxer? I mean, I hope so, but like, fuck.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where I don't know what it would be worse, right? So he pawned off a fake vaccination, or would I be more upset if he just, like the warrior guy, just like, oh, I'm just not getting the vaccination because I'm underinformed and I think it's going to kill me, right? I kind of dislike this even more, where it's just like, okay, I know what I'm saying and doing is just against science and against reality, and I'm gonna, deliberately try to deceive you, because why? Because I have some personal beliefs that I found on YouTube or Facebook. So, yeah, I'm not very excited about this. It's frustrating that it's one of our local boys, but whatever. Like, 21 games is a pretty stiff fine, though.
I wonder if we've covered, like, late at night or something, the place or person or someone involved with the group that gave him that fake vaccine card. I just wonder if it's a name that's come up, maybe not necessarily on Downballot, but like on the larger sort of shit tree that's happening around here.
Right, the shit spectrum. Right?
Yeah, the larger shit spectrum.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we dug down deep and someone could talk to Evander and find out, where he got his information. Yeah, just a shame. So 21 games, by the way, it's about a quarter of his season. They play 82 games, so I think he makes in the neighborhood of $7 million a year, which is pretty, for hockey, it's pretty high. So that means he's getting docked pretty much like $2 million ish.
The struggle.
So the struggle, but he's still making $5 million.
Right, the struggle.
And he has to deal with the scarlet letter, of being a liar and a cheat for long enough for people, for him to score a few goals, and then people will forget.
I just don't understand. Like, all this stuff is digital. Like, I don't need my vaccine card. I have that app on my phone where they can, like, verify. Like, if somebody wanted to, they could go take the fucking number and go verify it. Verify that it's me, right? So I don't know, like, it's really stupid to try to pass that off. Maybe if you work at like some kind of mom and pop shop, but to try to pass that shit off to the NHL in San Jose is like a monumentally stupid decision. Even if I agreed that people should be doing the fake vaccine cards, which I don't, I'd be like, that's not the people to do it to. They're going to find out. They have enough money to pay you, the organization you work for has the kind of money to pay you $7 million. They got a few bucks to fucking hire somebody to make sure that your vaccine card is real.
Right. So why with the smoke and the mirrors, right? That was what we call a segue.
Oh yeah. Up next we got winners and losers. This is our favorite segment of the show where there usually are no winners, but if somebody does win, it's people we don't like. Our first story is about a San Francisco Museum's smoky art exhibit, and it's kind of pissing off the neighbors. If you could imagine.
Because art always pisses people off. That's just how it goes, except for artists, I guess, and even them.
For others, you might have seen the smoke coming from Golden Gate Park this evening and thought the park was on fire. No cause for alarm. It was actually from an art exhibition that happened right outside the De Young Museum. Now, some people who live near Golden Gate Park did not know the performance art was happening, and they were shocked to see that smoke. Now, check out these pictures one neighbor shared with us. He says he lives about 10 minutes walking distance from the De Young. When he first walked outside, looked up, saw that, he thought the park was on fire before he remembered the exhibition was happening tonight.
It was incredibly smoky for, I want to say, at least a half an hour. And I had to close all my windows. My air purifier symbol went red. And so it's just too bad that we didn't get kind of a notice from the museum that, this was a possibility.
The De Young says it sent out flyers to neighbors letting them know the event was happening. They say it was non-toxic vapor pigment. What you're seeing there, that's not even smoke. It's a pigment, according to the museum. By the way, artist Judy Chicago was behind this multicolored show. She calls it Atmospheres. The idea is to let the breeze pick up the smoke and move it. It's all part of the art. This was all in celebration of Chicago's exhibition at the DeYoung. Judy Chicago, a retrospective, is a show 3 years in the making.
Judy Chicago, a retrospective in smoke.
I'd have
Up in
thought the
smoke.
fucking shit was on fire too if I saw that. I'd have been like, wait a minute, why is there a rainbow on fire in the park? I'd be like, this is San Francisco, but come on.
Why is my air purifier light red? What is going on? I'm very disturbed. I like how he's like, oh yeah, I said, and I remembered then, yes, there was something about an exhibit. I really wish the DeYoung had notified the community about this.
Right. I wish it's like you keep saying about these community meetings where you're like, I was told about this community meeting, but why wasn't I told about this community meeting?
Right. You know, I heard about this art exhibit. But why wasn't I told about this art exhibit? But yeah, I mean, what a perfect way to, do an outdoor exhibition of public art in San Francisco, but to do it in Golden Gate Park and to have something just go up in smoke, right? Just just to freak all the hippie dippies out. Whoa, bro, what's going on, man? I was just going over to Hippie Hill and this shit. Oh man, but yeah. Sorry, neighbors. Art can sometimes be a little bit deceiving, but they have fog all the time, right? They should be used to this kind of shit.
Maybe, but that's clearly not fog.
Well, it was colored fog. It would look like rainbow fog. I thought it was like a Diwali thing or something. Anyway, well, museum, watch your back. Don't burn the park down. Neighbors, watch your public art and go enjoy, inhale.
So we got a little bit of a art heavy winners and losers this evening. It looks like people in San Jose are trying to save a mural, and
the developers don't like public art either, apparently.
Oh, imagine that.
Removing the remnants of neighborhood history, and they don't like it. The Washington district says it has learned that a new property owner in San Jose is about to paint over a treasured neighborhood mural. Now, the same thing happened on Story Road 3 years ago. This latest battle has local leaders fighting back. Here's NBC Bay Area's Damian Trujillo.
The mural is on a vacant building on South First Street in the heart of the Washington district. The neighbors tell me the property owner told them he needs to remodel the place before high-tech workers arrive, and that the mural has to go before then. The wall is adorned with the images of Cesar Chavez and revolutionary hero Emiliano Zapata. It was created at a time when gang violence was spiking in the Washington district.
Since that mural came up, the problems went away.
Also on the mural is the image of the late Brenda Lopez, a teenager who rolled up her sleeves to get the local children off the streets by teaching them dance.
She was a great role model to a lot of the kids in the community. That's why it's so important to our family and for the community.
But the city has now advised neighbors that the new property owner plans to remodel the building, and part of the remodel means painting over the mural.
I haven't cried yet. I mean, honestly, this is really upsetting to me.
The president of the neighborhood association says that in a Zoom meeting with the owner, Jason Lee, he said the mural might not be appropriate for the new tenants.
He thought some of the art was related. It looked like it could be related to gangs.
He also reached out to that new owner, first using the phone number he provided to neighborhood representatives. The person who answered told us we had the wrong number. We then emailed him for a response and haven't heard back.
It's heartbreaking, and it's I just feel like it's dishonoring everything my sister did.
A similar mural was painted over in East San Jose in 2018, creating community uproar. Now city rules require the artist must be alerted 90 days before that happens. Neighbors say this artist got his notice on October 1st.
Every community has its heroes. Brenda just happened to be one of them in this community.
A community vowing to fight to save their mural. In the Washington district, Damian Trujillo, NBC Bay Area News.
Art can heal too. It can't just burn shit. It actually heals people.
What does he mean? It looks like gang shit.
I think he means the young lady with the skull kind of thing going on, right?
The Dia de los Muertos stuff.
Dia de los Muertos, exactly. It's like it's obviously some serious Mexican gang shit.
That's just some Halloween shit.
Yeah, it's just cultural shit is what they call it. It's culture,
right? But it's some Halloween shit.
Yeah. And Jason Lee needs to like get out of the Kevin Smith movies and get on point with understanding San Jose culture. That's a shame. He's like basically pawning it off. Oh, the high tech workers that have to come and live in my building. I need to make sure that they don't get scared by the gang murals. I'm
just thinking if the guy wants to repaint the building, he could make himself look so good by saying, "Hey, we're going to paint over this, but I want to commission the same artists to make a new mural. I want to give them some funding."
Right, and a better canvas, right?
Right.
I'll give them the whole funding. Wall of flat canvas. Yeah.
I want to give them some funding, and I'm going to donate to such and such a community organization. I understand that it sucks that I have to paint over this, but I would like something just as good, if not better, to go up in its place. This guy can cover all the fucking bases, and then he could have some input on it so it doesn't look so fucking Halloween-y, I guess.
I guess so.
And he can just do that behind the scenes and not talk about that weird fucking shit, how he thinks the fucking Dia de los Muertos is some gang shit, dumb motherfucker.
Well, and then there just happen to be, organizations in San Jose that do that very thing. Empire 7 Studios is one of them. The folks that they've been partnering with a group called Powwow San Jose to do murals around town, exhibition district, local color. So there's plenty of opportunities with organizations to come and either recreate it, honestly, like get some digitized pictures and then build your building, build the wall right there that's big enough, and then come back out and paint the dang thing again. Like just completely recreate it. Why not? There's so many opportunities and so many things that you could do. That's why this is under winners and losers, because unfortunately there's no winners yet. There are rumors that someone at the city is trying to push this guy to play ball, I guess, as it were, or to keep the mural. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the thing I never really understand. Why can't we find some compromises? So you have to tear down the old like liquor store or the really old gas station to build a new high rise, and it's like a historical gas station or something, right? Like, but build the facade into the building. Like, figure out a way to incorporate the damn thing. Why can't you do both? But you know me, I'm always trying to compromise, producer Dave.
Well, in this case, the compromise is easy. You find out if the original artist is interested, and if they are,
right,
give them some fucking money,
right,
to redo the mural once your building's up. And then quietly bark in their ear about how that fucking lady scares you.
Yeah, I remember this actually. Interesting enough, in the same neighborhood, the school and the mothers group at the school nearby the elementary school, they commissioned an artist to come and do a mural about basically celebrating motherhood and celebrating the moms who step up for their kids, and volunteer in the classroom and volunteer at the school and blah blah blah, right? And they're amazing. They do wonderful work. So the mural ended up being the centerpiece of the mural ended up being a woman with a womb that was sort of like, cross section, right? So you could see the baby, the fetus inside growing, right? And the woman was cradling the womb, and there was an umbilical cord, I think, or something like this. And, there was someone who got a little squishy in the neighborhood when it started going up and took some pictures and sent them to the school district and said, I don't know about this, man. It's like pro-lifer, anti-abortion or pro, I don't know what this is, but it's too religious and it's on your school grounds. And, at the end of the day, we said, hey, they did a community meeting. The artist came out and talked to the community in the neighborhood. The neighborhood told them, the artist, what they wanted. He painted what they wanted. And we have to respect that.
Well, we don't have to respect it, but one person can't just undo it unless they're a property developer.
Correct. Or the one neighbor barking and complaining, right? That's really all it was. So yeah, hopefully the one property owner has some property rights. Unfortunately, that's sort of the way things roll. He can do what he wants with his property within the law, and this is within the law. So hopefully we'll see. We will keep tabs on the story, and we will bring it back to you when we know more. But for right now, yeah, it looks like the arts are just under attack in multiple areas. So we got to be vigilant. Remember, arts don't just educate; they're not just an economic driver. They also heal people. So remember that. All right. Well, speaking of healing people,
file this next one under only someone from Los Gatos. This story would be about.
Yeah, I really don't have any words other than just play the clip and it'll speak for itself.
Of throwing secret boozy sex parties for teenagers, including her own son. KPIX5's Maria Sid Medina is at Los Gatos High School, where one of the bizarre and almost deadly incidents allegedly happened.
Investigators say the Los Gatos mom's cover-up of her own wild parties began to unravel when a drunk teen fell from her SUV and suffered a concussion here at Los Gatos High School. Parents finally got wind that the mom was allegedly behind it all.
Minors were not only furnished with alcohol, but provided a safe haven for very dangerous behavior.
Santa Clara County prosecutors say this woman, Shannon O'Connor, played the role of a cool mom, throwing underground parties for her teenage son and others as young as 13.
The first question that needs to be asked is, how did this out of control animal house for underage teens go on for so long without detection?
The court documents contain a long list of allegations, including how O'Connor is accused of helping the teens sneak out of their homes, then providing alcohol until the teens blacked out or even injured themselves. Even more disturbing, investigators say she would encourage the teens to perform non-consensual sexual acts, sometimes even watching.
What I'm seeing here is only the tip of this investigation. I think we could see even more serious charges being put on Miss O'Connor as this case progresses, particularly if minors were being sexually assaulted.
This isn't the only criminal case against the 47-year-old. She's also accused of charging more than $100,000 on a company credit card when she worked at the now shuttered Aruba Networks. O'Connor allegedly committed all these crimes under her Silicon Valley tech executive husband's nose.
It's so disturbing that you want to believe that it could never happen, and that may be why this case took so long to uncover.
Investigators say they know why it took so long to uncover what was happening. They say O'Connor would threaten some of the teens that she would spread rumors about them if they ever said a word. In Los Gatos, Maria Sid Medina, KPIX5.
Now, prosecutors say surveillance cameras captured some of the underage parties, and O'Connor communicated with the teens through text messages and Snapchat. She now lives in Idaho and will be extradited to California.
That's insane.
Yes, and apparently, I mean, the clip didn't really have what was in the headline, but apparently she's also suspected of hosting similar parties in Idaho or wherever they are now, wherever she's run off to with her son. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, everyone wants the mom who, is okay with you throwing a party maybe when they're out of town, right? And they don't get too mad. Your mom doesn't get too mad, or she's like, just have some friends over. It's fine. Just don't break anything, right? Oh, don't use the good china. Holy shit. Have your friends come over. Let's get them drunk, and you can just, put it where it don't belong with that young person over there. And I'll just watch over here. That's cool. Hi, Mom.
So I think the reason this went on for as long as it did is because her husband is a rich person in Los Gatos. And so people will tend to look the other way. Or people might not even notice. I don't know where they lived in Los Gatos. I've been in some houses in Los Gatos where if they had a party, they're well far away from their neighbor, and the neighbor might not notice.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Or if there's 20 people, the house is pretty big. If you're like damn near the center of the house, the sound doesn't even escape.
Right. What's going on over there? Oh, the kids are watching television.
Right. So this is just one of those stories that is it's like very Los Gatos. It Palo Alto maybe, but Palo Alto is a lot denser than Los Gatos. Even the single family homes, but maybe the Los Altos Hills would be another place something like this could go down.
Yeah, I'm someone obviously. There was an accident, there was an issue, like someone started to uncover what was going on, so they absconded to another state. But yeah, no, there are plenty of places in those hills where you could pull this kind of thing off without too much too much shock and awe. And it's, but at the end of the day, it's Los Gatos too. Like, these kids are, all entitled and spoiled, and they're always, pulling some sort of shenanigans. So people are just used to it by now, I would imagine. And a bunch of kids rolled up at a house, there's a lot of noise. It's sort of like probably the average Friday or Saturday night, right? So not surprising that this was allowed to go on for so long. I didn't catch whether or not like she was divorced or single mom or what was going on there, or if dad was around. But you're either she or dad or both are obviously, Los Gatos socialites, so they're probably somewhat immune from the darker side of the law.
I was somebody I admire, and I forget who they are now, says, who has class solidarity? Rich people. And so that is
right?
Probably what's going on here.
Right. Isn't that sad? But so true and so believable.
So we're going to move on to another story that's equally disturbing out of Richmond. I bet this was going on a lot less long because it was in Richmond and not in Los Gatos. Looks like a police chief is on leave. Well, we'll let the news tell the story. This is big yikes. This is super big yikes.
Richmond's police chief is on paid administrative leave tonight following a chaotic chain of events involving her 18-year-old daughter, a man accused of pimping her out. The chief and her husband, who's also a cop, now face accusations about their own, how they tried to get their daughter back home. NBC Bay Area's Melissa Colorado untangles what's a thorny situation that involves a lot of collateral damage.
How does any mother, deal with something like this?
It's a family crisis that's now spilling out in public, and caught in the crosshairs, Richmond's top cop, Chief Bisa French, as well as her husband, Oakland Police Sergeant Lee French, who are both on leave. The two are parents to an 18-year-old daughter. Chief French's attorney, Mike Raines, says the 18-year-old was a straight-A student until she got caught up with a 33-year-old man named Oho McNair, accused of being her pimp.
We have a parent who loves her daughter and has set high standards for her daughter and has seen her daughter grow through the first 17 years of her life as an outstanding person, smart and motivated to succeed, only to meet this guy and to have her mind turned and completely taken over by this guy.
Last week, court records from Contra Costa County show the 18-year-old filed a domestic violence restraining order against her parents. And there's more potential legal trouble stemming from an incident in September. Attorney Mike Raines confirms Chief French and her husband visited McNair's mother at her home in Vallejo.
There were certainly anguished pleas by both parents to the mother for her son to return their daughter.
Raines says McNair's mother told police the couple made violent threats against her. Raines says the couple denies that. As for McNair, authorities say he was arrested by U.S. Marshals this week for human trafficking and pimping and is currently sitting in a jail cell at Santa Rita.
Oh, I'd like to see her come back tomorrow. I think she's a great chief. She's doing a great job.
Now, there is a hearing on October 25th in which the court will take up that restraining order that was filed by Chief French's daughter. In the meantime, Assistant Police Chief Louis Torona, he will serve as interim police chief of the Richmond Police Department. That's the latest here in Richmond. I'm Melissa Colorado, NBC Bay Area News.
Yeah, it sounds like there's probably, as we find out more and more about this, I'm thinking this is going to be a nobody to root for situation. Except for maybe the daughter. Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably why it's under winners and losers. I'm hoping the daughter's worth rooting for here, because there doesn't seem to be a lot of folks out there. And how is the police chief? Do you let this kind of happen? How do you become the police chief with these kind of things happening in your home? But how do you allow this to happen? I guess if you're the police chief, you're probably distracted by police chiefing.
And first of all, super classy on the news, by the way, for not naming the daughter or showing a picture, because that's an 18-year-old person, an adult. They made a good editorial decision there, I think, not to show a photo of her if she's clearly a person, or very likely a person in crisis. But I think that, like, if they didn't know anything about it and she just disappeared and she's 18, there's nothing they can do about it.
It's true. I mean, she is an adult, so it's so I actually feel for the chief. And the thing is, she's not taking leave because anyone's blaming her necessarily for what's going on, but it's just a distraction, right? So it's too bad for the city of Richmond. I don't know who that older white gentleman was either, but obviously just man on the street walking his dog in Richmond. That's a scientific analysis of the general sentiment of the people of Richmond when it comes to this matter.
I hate the man on the street.
She's doing a good job apparently. So
maybe she is.
How can I argue with that? I don't live in Richmond. I have friends that live in Richmond. I could ask them. They don't like the cops though, in kind of a general sort of way. So not just Richmond cops, just cops.
Yeah, I don't know. These two people were cops. I tend to buy that. This person, first of all, the person who was they ended up getting arrested was in his early 30s. There was nothing that mother was going to do about it, and I tend to maybe think that it's likely that they went over there and threatened that guy's mother. I mean,
oh man,
I have no evidence for that or whatever, but it seems like a very cop thing to do.
Right. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Well, we will obviously keep our eyes peeled, and we will follow up on the story and bring you more news right here in this space. So please stay tuned, listener. Stay tuned, viewer, Twitchers. Is it Twitchers? What are Twitch people called?
The Now Space.
Do they have the Now Space?
That's the chat. We call the chat the Now Space.
The Now Space. Please join the Now Space. Discord.me/Echoplex. All right. Well, as we always tend to do, contradiction in terms, we're going to wrap up Winners and Losers with getting your shit together, because someone's got to get their shit together, and it might as well be you. This week, it's the Chase Center. So it's kind of a sad story to what you should be a happy evening occurred just over the weekend here when a little band from Vermont was in town. There were a couple people had a little accident at the show, but it's not really the band's fault. It's really the Chase Center's fault. So we'll find out more here.
Good morning. Yes, those inspections are happening today, and they follow two complaints that were filed from the Chase Center. One of them regarding the height of the guardrail, another one involving the steepness of the stairs near the guardrail. Right now, the Chase Center has not announced any changes to protocols or fan experience or seating for the upcoming shows or games. The next concert is Dan and Shay. That's expected tomorrow, and this, of course, coming after that death at the concert on Sunday. So it was a little after 9 o'clock on Sunday during the Fish concert here at the Chase Center when officers already at the arena were notified of a person in need of medical assistance. That man was later identified as 47-year-old Ryan Prosser from Greene County, New York. He was later pronounced dead. Police said they didn't find any foul play, but the investigation is ongoing. And then 50 minutes after that situation, police responded to another call of a fall. A man was then transported to the hospital after being injured from someone falling on him. Now, those injuries are being called non-life threatening. So as it stands right now, we are in contact with the Department of Building Inspections and are awaiting any updates that come from the inspections regarding that guardrail as well as the incline of those stairs. We're also in contact with the folks here at Chase Center to see if they do release any protocol changes, any fan experience changes because of Sunday's situation. So we're keeping our ears open on a lot of fronts, and we'll be sure to relay that information to you if we do hear anything. We're live at One Warriors Way, the Chase Center. Sierra Johnson for NBC Bay Area News.
Thanks so much.
Well, this is kind of bad because the fucking concert shits just started getting back going, and two one person died and two other people were like fairly seriously injured enough to have to go to the hospital. It's kind of bad for everything opening back up. Like a Fish concert's like a pretty chill fucking place. There's not a lot of moshing going on. People are saying "excuse me." A lot of Birkenstocks.
And so full disclosure, the councilman was there in the house at this concert, and typically, it's a very
this wasn't your fault, was it?
No, not at all. In fact, I got a lot of so I had posted that I was there right on my social medias, and so as soon as people saw the story, even my mom was like, "Are you okay?" No, it wasn't me. But even I noticed, and I took pictures of, I was taking pictures of the lights and the crowd, and I I was thinking and remarking to my brother who was there with me at the time, like, hey, does it look like the railing on the upper deck is kind of like low? Like it really, there's nothing there. It's like below the knee even. And there was people, dancing and they're having fun, and maybe they're on drugs. I don't know. But they're definitely drinking alcohol in some cases, right? Which is totally legal, right? You're allowed to drink the alcohol, and you're allowed to even smoke the marijuana at home by yourself if you want to. In California these days, but I would not have been surprised because people are spinning and they're enjoying the show and they're really getting into it. So even if they're not moshing, I could completely see someone, a taller dude like myself, even who's kind of awkward, taking a bad step and just falling off the edge. I didn't see this happen. It happened twice apparently during the same show. That's amazing. But and that it didn't cause it more of a disturbance is even more amazing. But yeah, it's a little bit upsetting, and I kind of had a feeling that Chase Center is going to have to pay for this. So we'll see what happens. I hope they don't try and label it as like these hippy dippy Birkenstockies, got high and fell off the ledge, right? Because they were high. It did look pretty dangerous, so I think they're going to have to figure out some new protocols at the very least. But they might get sued. Who knows? Just lucky that the second person landed on another fish head, I guess. So there's that. They're both hurt, but at least they survived. But yeah, that's tragic. I've been to 100 and some odd fish shows, and I can say that this is probably the first death, maybe the second death ever that I've ever heard of at one of those shows. So don't think that happens very often, if not ever. I think this might be the first time.
And it sounds like it had nothing to do with the band, because if the railing, like, why would you make a railing too low? Like when there's a place to fall. Like it's not only not safe during a concert, it's not safe during a Warriors game. You know what I'm saying? It's not about a concert. If there's a railing that's too short, it's not like people who go there for a game don't fall.
Right. Exactly. And it's especially if you're on your feet, it's really intense. You're jumping around, right? It could easily happen. So they got to figure something out. But this is a brand new venue, right? They haven't really even had full houses for basketball yet in this venue because of last year, all the restrictions, and last year is when it opened. So it opened to cardboard cutouts of fans. So they are going to have to think about this. And this is one of the first concerts there too. I will say this. I mean, I felt very safe. Like everyone was getting their vax checked on the way in. Even my brother, who got his vax in like someplace in the dirty South, right, where he had like some rogue email from the doctor that said he was vaccinated and his ID is from out of state. But they checked it very thoroughly, checked his ID. So I felt comfortable enough. And most people were wearing masks still, unless they were drinking alcoholic beverages. So
yeah, it just sounds like an unfortunate series of events. It just seems like a low railing is a. I don't know. I just wonder, like, who built that place? Like, San Francisco's having a little bit of problems with people building things, maybe.
Yeah, they were too concerned with the early reviews said it looked like a toilet bowl from outside, but they weren't thinking about maybe the inside. So it was a lovely venue otherwise. It was very aesthetically pleasing, but sometimes, aesthetics are one thing and practicality is another thing. So I think they're going to have to rethink their plans. The seats were very comfortable, though, and everything else went smoothly. So the acoustics were great. This is a real awful sideshow. Well, get your shit together, Chase Center, and we'll check back on you later. Hopefully the Bruce Springsteen concert or whatever the next one is does not go or the Dan and Shay concert does not go the same way.
I'm crowd at the Bruce Springsteen concert already has broken hips too. You better fucking fix that shit.
So Producer Dave, I'm really excited to announce that we're going back to Recall Watch.
Oh, great. I think last week would have maybe been the first week that we didn't call Downballot Watch Recall Watch, and we happened to skip last week, and now we're back to Recall Watch. It seems that the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, the school board, the school board seems to be facing a recall.
Like three of them.
Looks like a recall attempt.
Correct.
Yeah,
and it's just qualified for the ballot. Actually, they submitted their signatures, so we're going to hear more. Oh God, from our friends at Kron. As long as there's no ads.
No, there's no ads. Anyway, let's go.
trying to recall 3 San Francisco school board members. The Recall SF School Board petition has collected 70,000 signatures, virtually ensuring an election late this year or early next year. Ground Force Amanda Harry live with details after talking to the group's leaders about why they started this effort. Amanda.
Good evening. I'm told the group launched back in February of 2021. They launched after the school board announced that middle schoolers and high schoolers wouldn't be going back for the 2020-2021 school year. And the parents I spoke to said that was just unacceptable and they had to do something.
Because what we think is that San Francisco is the best city in the entire world, and it should have the best schools in the entire world.
Co-leads for Recall SF School Board, Autumn Lowen and Siva Raj, say they just want the best for SF students. Raj says his son is a freshman in high school, and distance learning wasn't working for him.
He struggled, he's lost motivation, he's been borderline depressed.
When San Francisco Unified School District announced they wouldn't be bringing back middle and high schoolers during the 2020-2021 school year, Lowen and Raj knew they had to do something. That's how the recall effort started.
Everyone said it was impossible. It's not possible. Don't even try. And so it's feeling pretty good to be on the cusp of making it.
The group is trying to recall 3 eligible school board members, President Gabriela Lopez, Vice President Faugo Molinga, and Allison Collins. Each petition has received about 70,000 signatures. Of those signatures, leaders believe more than 51,000 are valid. That number is 10% of registered voters in SF. It's what they need to qualify for the ballot.
We are 99% certain that we have those signatures, those valid signatures, and we just need to get it organized and submitted to the Department of Elections.
The group will need to submit the signatures by September 7th. If accepted, the election would be later this year or early 2022.
The city's really united in wanting a better future for its children.
I did reach out to SFUSD, and they haven't gotten back to me just yet. Live in San Francisco, Amanda Harry, Cron 4 News.
Cities united. I mean, the threshold is 10%.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like
to get on the ballot. Yeah. And it's tough to get that many signatures, to be honest with you. So, especially with a grassroots effort, I don't know how much money they had, but if they are on the verge of this, kudos to them, I suppose. But at the same time, it's just silly season. You know, it's not as though any school board or any one district had a better idea, right, than the next one on what to do and how to handle it, and they all were, lacking in federal and state guidelines that, could have saved them from having to make these decisions locally. But that's what we want, right? We want local control. That's what everyone says. We want local control. Don't govern us from Sacramento or Washington. We want to be able to control our own shit. Well, this is what you get, and sometimes these are people who it's their first, elected position, right? They've never really managed an organization of this size before in this scope, and they're thrown into this, they throw themselves into this mix and don't have any idea what they're doing, right? Especially even without a pandemic, they don't know what they're doing. And now, and you expect them to be just, geniuses. You're not a genius, Miss Parent or Mr. Parent. These proponents, they don't know what they would know what the thing to do if they were up there. They just, they know that they're big mad, and they're going to show everyone that they're big mad, and they're going to, basically cause 2 elections in the same year, for this school board, and waste a whole bunch of public money doing it. So
yeah, I think if we're there's one kind of thing I think about the recall stuff is we got to raise the threshold a little bit. There's just too many fucking people there's just too much recall shit happening in California right now, because there's a lot of money sloshing around, and I bet these people that are doing this recall got some of that money. Been sloshing around out there in that sort of anti-vaccine, anti-mask, sort of contrarian, I don't like anything the government does universe. I don't know this, but it would shock me if they weren't getting support from groups like the ones who are who sort of for a minute seem to be trying to recall the city council here in San Jose, and
or the board of supervisors. And these, they're lucky that they live in San Francisco, and it's just an activisty kind of mentality there. So there's it doesn't take much probably to fire up 10% of the voters in San Francisco for anything. So again, kudos to them. We'll see if it actually does qualify, and then we'll see what happens at the ballot box. I doubt that this is going to go through, although there was the one board member you'll remember who was ousted from her leadership positions because of things she said about the Asian folk on her Twitter or whatever. So maybe it sticks to her a little bit, but I just don't see how this really grows legs any more than any other recall effort that's gone down lately. So, but it's just like I said, waste of time, waste of people's money. Elections have consequences. So if you really want to change things, run for something, jackass. Don't just recall whoever. Like, run for something. Run for the position. Do it yourself, and see how easy it is to do it. Okay, there. I said my piece.
Yeah, this is all stupid. We should stop recalling everybody in California. We look ridiculous. Everybody stop it.
For sure.
Steve Bannon, leave California alone.
Knock it off. Knock it off, children. Speaking of children, we have whiny mayoral candidates in San Jose whining about county supervisors who are running for mayor and giving nice things to their employees. I don't know. Let's run the clip.
A battle is brewing over bonuses Santa Clara County workers are getting from the federal COVID relief fund. Each worker is getting a $2,500 bonus check called hazard pay or heroes pay. But a San Jose councilman criticized the move. Today, county workers firing back. NBC Bay Area's Damian Trujillo is at San Jose City Hall with the debate over the money.
Debate.
San Jose Councilman Matt Mahan says the county should have administered the hazard pay better, that not every employee deserves it, and that angered county unions. The transit buses rolled throughout the pandemic while most were sheltered at home. Raj Singh and his friends drove those buses.
These folks didn't really have a choice, but they put their lives, not only their lives, but their families' lives at risk.
Raj is one of 22,000 county workers now slated to receive a $2,500 bonus from the county. The bonus, called Heroes Pay, goes to every worker, no matter what job they perform.
Graphics.
And that baffled San Jose Councilman Matt Mahan, who is also running for mayor.
I just have a problem with the county using federal relief funds to give bonuses to every single employee.
Today, several county unions went on the offensive against Mahan.
Matt Mahan must apologize now and correct his actions.
We denounce council member Matt Mahan's attack on working people. We demand he retract his statement.
Matt Mahan should be ashamed of his actions.
The county workers found it ironic that Mahan himself was working from home today. Mahan said he wants to make it clear he is not against the idea of hero pay bonuses.
So I don't have a problem with frontline workers getting bonuses. I'd say they deserve it, and probably more than they got. I think it just defies common sense to indiscriminately give out $76 million, including to thousands of employees making over $200,000 a year who work from home.
Several sheriff's deputies have told me privately that they too are bothered that non-essential county workers are also getting.
Oh, shut up and get vaccinated.
Seriously, fuck you, DSA.
On the front lines throughout the pandemic. Mahan insists federal dollars should have been spent on the homeless or food programs. Instead of a blanket bonus for every employee, no matter their duties during the pandemic.
And what we need to be doing right now is not poking at this worker or that worker. We need to be supporting all essential workers, regardless of exactly what their job was.
The county is set to hand out the bonuses before the holidays. Damian Trujillo, NBC Bay Area News.
I just love how people who fucking don't give a fuck about the homeless the whole rest of the fucking year are out there. Oh, you should have done something about the homeless with that money. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Right. Tech Bro. Remember, this is Tech Bro guy who had the idea about, like, let's put all the homeless into, like, prefab housing at the fairgrounds, right? In a big concentration camp. That was his big idea. He's into big ideas, right? That's his thing. Because he's a white tech bro. And he's a white savior. And that's how white savior tech bros from Almaden roll. Yeah, this is silly. And it's made even more silly, producer Dave, by the fact that this guy was part of a, I think, unanimous vote to give all the city employees in San Jose $1,000 or something, like, I forget how much it was. I think it was $1,000 bonus for this exact same purpose. And just because it came out of the general fund and not out of the whatever American Rescue Act funds, Doesn't make it any less hypocritical that you would support it for your own employees, but now because you're running for mayor and you're running against someone who's a county supervisor who you think it perceive as your biggest threat, you want to go after, this. You want to attack this issue as a way of attacking her. And now, producer Dave, I can't share it with you right now because it's not video, but he sent out a infographic. Supervisor Chavez, that's Cindy Chavez, right? I hate to give her more lip service, but Cindy Chavez, debate me about this. Like
debate,
literally,
bro.
Debate, bro. Like literally, bro. It's
she should say that's fine, but we'll only do it on Echoplex Media, and we both have to drink half a bottle of vodka, and it has to be at 1 a.m.
Right. I mean, I think I even have here. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it's right here. Look at this. I have it. I can put it up here. So there you go. It's on his Instagram. So
cool. Debate me, bro.
Debate me, bro.
But the election's kind of a ways away. Like
he's just trying to make what he's trying to do, and the good wife was actually very astute in pointing this out to a friend of ours earlier today. He's trying to make this a 2-person race. There are at least 2 other candidates in the race, 2 other council members, but he sees it, as he's got a big lane over here, and Cindy Chavez is going to take her lane over there, and no one, and he's going to try and make it a 1-on-1 race because it behooves him to do that. At least in the public eye and the public perception eye and the political perception eye, it just gets more people talking about him and it builds him up to be more than what he really is, which is a freshman city council member, tech bro.
So I want to point out too that the cost of living here is very high. People aren't laughing all the way to the fucking bank on $2,500 here in Silicon Valley. Excuse me, like this is. I understand that the sum total seems big. But it's not like you're fucking lavishing extravagant gifts on the fucking county employees here.
$2,500 is like, it's not a whole lot, folks. Out
just like a 1-bedroom apartment in San Jose if you're lucky.
It's like 1 month's rent, right? And frankly speaking, the good wife is going to be getting the largesse of this, right? Everyone, the supervisors declined it. The county executive declined it. But yeah, I mean, what the hell else are you going to do? I mean, it's the people that make the county work, right? It's the people that make the city work. You can have all the fun policies and all the tech bro policies you want about doing things more expediently and with, apps and shit. And that's fine. And it does work. But at the end of the day, 80% of what you spend is going to be spent on people. And those people go home, and a lot of them live in San Jose. Not all of them, unfortunately, because it's fucking expensive. But a lot of them live in San Jose and live in our local economy. And it's not like they're going to put the $2,500 under the fucking mattress, right? Like even the good wife and I, who do pretty well when it comes down to it, like we're spending that money, paying down our credit card bill, or paying the bills, right? Doing work on the house, things like that. So it's not like we're not spending that money in our local economy, and helping us recover in general, right, and supporting jobs. So it's all reciprocal. So
even if you invest it all in fucking Bitcoin, it's $2,500. I'm just telling you, nobody's like fucking going and buying an expensive pocket watch and a Rolls Royce off of this bonus. Like,
right. He's just politicizing an issue, and it just really disgusts me. And he's tripled down on everything. He's gotten schooled on this week, and he's just tripled down on it. And it just proves that, this guy has where he's gone in terms of his lane, where he thinks his lane is for the mayor's race. He's gone to the dark side, right? So fine. It's completely on brand for him. It's just none of us have to like it, and it's disgusting, but whatever.
It's just it's the same.
We'll see what happens next.
It's the same fucking shit that we get from like the Democratic Party all the time, right? Like this guy won his race on a fairly progressive platform. He wasn't like Eat the Rich, or he wasn't like fucking bunch of communists like my chat, but it was a fairly progressive platform. And then he gets like what little power he has as the fucking newest city council member. And all of a sudden now he's like fucking Andrew Yang or like Elon Musk or some shit. It's like, come on, dude, what are you doing? Like, what
he's trying to carve out his lane.
Yeah. Well, what did you say when you were running? Why are you doing this? This is the Democratic Party. They all do this. And then when they don't do this, like fucking Bernie Sanders, fucking everybody shits on him. Like, oh, you're not towing the line for the party. And it's like, well, dude, no, he said what he wanted to do. And then he advocated for those things the whole fucking time. Of course, sometimes you got to compromise. Nobody's perfect. Don't get me wrong. But this is just, it seems like the way to the top in the Democratic Party is to run progressive and then fucking tack to the center when it comes time to do policy. And it's like, well, fuck you. Like, I don't know. Also, it's none of his damn business. It's the county. Fuck off. Worry about the city's business. You dumb fuck.
It's true. Well, and to be fair, the county party and the local labor movement, they did not support this guy. They had other candidates, although unfortunately their candidate was the woman who killed someone. So they didn't really make out very well in that race either, but that was just from a dearth of really good candidates. And this is like Almaden, right? For the most part. So it's hard to find a good progressive Democrat down there. But to their credit, they did not endorse this guy. He was not, he didn't have the backing. He's tried very hard to earn it, to win support. And he gets support from moderate Democrats, but not necessarily people who know what's going on with the party locally, the party writ large. So anyway,
no, I just remember liking him when we ran through the candidates. Like he seemed like he seemed to be, of those who had a chance of winning, the most aligned with my views. And every story I'm seeing about him as he goes to govern, it's like, well, wait, what the fuck? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I don't know. Is he just trying to fucking get a PragerU video about why he left the left? I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing.
He's trying to run for mayor, right? Like he's realized like this is an opportunity for him, and he's got to grab it and really embrace the lane that he's trying to carve out for himself, right? It's completely crass and political and very methodical and engineered, and everything that tech and the tech everything, all the stereotypes of tech bro have come to roost in this guy, unfortunately. And he's got people around him encouraging him to do it. He's going to have the mayor, encouraging him to do it, even though he's calling the city a mess, and money. He's got money encouraging him to do it, and power, right? And this is an opportunity. You could be mayor for 10 years, depending on what happens in this race, right? If they do end up moving the mayoral, if we end up voting to move our mayoral elections to presidential years, which is something that's on the table currently with our Charter Review Commission, and could come before the voters next year, that would mean that the next mayor who gets elected next year could run in 2024 and again in 2028 and have theoretically 10 years in office. So that's why you've seen Cindy Chavez jumping in. That's why you see this guy jumping in. That's why you'll see a lot of interest in the race, because people are all about that power and all about that money, and power equals money. Power can generate money.
And I feel like Cindy Chavez may have a little bit of an uphill battle too, because we call this place Man Jose for a reason. There's an undercurrent of sexism in San Jose and Silicon Valley more broadly. And I think it's going to give her, it's if she wasn't the other person sucking up the most oxygen, it might behoove him to try to elevate her as such, because of the sexist nature of San Jose and Silicon Valley more broadly, especially the business sector who he's trying to court.
Well, the electorate too, in general, just across the country, is sexist. And we've seen.
But here, a place where you wouldn't think it was is probably more sexist than like New York City, like
if not more, just as much, if not more. Yes,
absolutely. More. I think more than New York City. Like, you know what I'm saying? This place didn't earn the name Man Jose for no fucking reason.
No, of course not. So that she's definitely fighting that uphill battle. She's also, she's also going to be angling and fighting for Latino votes with Councilmember Perales, who's in the race as well. And Latinos tend to be fairly sexist when it comes down to it too, even the Latinas. So it's they do not necessarily stand up for each other, and that's a key contingent she's going to need to win. She also has a lot of baggage that she needs to get over, and a lot of political baggage, which she may not be able to get over. A lot of people are angling for her. So
she needs to hire me.
Yeah, right.
She needs to hire me yesterday.
She's got a team of consultants that have come up with a campaign by committee, and you can see that that's what it is. It's very obvious that it's all poll tested and committee tested and consultant approved.
No, she needs to hire me and then never tell anybody about me yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
That's like what I would recommend, but she's not that kind of gal.
The dark arts.
She's not that kind of gal. She does things, when it comes down to it, she does things very much by the book. But she has a plan. She always has a plan.
Well, this looks bad. I don't like this guy. This guy seems like a fucking scumbag. But basically, like,
he is. Like, don't vote for him.
I don't like, and maybe we'll leave this story on this and move on to another thing. Everybody, make sure you stick around for Local Love. By the way, I got Walter Campbell of NVS and Book on VHS tonight. And that'll be me flying solo doing an interview, because I don't know. We have never had Walter on the show, but I'll leave it at this. I don't like it when people make a bunch of money in business, particularly here in Silicon Valley, and then think they're just going to go in with their sort of businessy fucking like appified ideas or whatever, and go change the government. Like Andrew Yang's trying to do that and largely failing, but I think it's because he made the mistake of not starting small. And this guy is starting small, and I don't like this shit. Fucking go back and fucking destroy the community by working at a tech company. Don't do it from the fucking seats of power in City Hall. Like, please, like just do one. Please don't do both.
It's too late. He sold his tech company already. This is his new job. This is his new life. This is his new passion. It's a full-time job. He gets paid pretty, decent money. Not the best, but decent enough.
Man,
he's just jealous because he doesn't get paid as much as some of these county employees. That's what he's really jealous about.
He should just run for fucking office in Los Gatos or something where he could fucking.
He's doing fine, yeah.
Where he could do like very little harm. Could have covered up that lady's sex parties.
But he lived in Almaden, so he's stuck running in San Jose. And San Jose is a bigger pond anyway, so he's angling for higher things one day. Education secretary, things like that.
So at the end of the show, we do a human or animal interest story, and this is this is weird. Usually, it's a feel good story. I don't know how good a feeling I get about the headline here. This one's talking about nearly 100 snakes found in a Santa Rosa home.
You're gonna love this.
Well, if the movie Snakes on a Plane made you cringe, this is going to make you cringe too. Snakes at your house, and lots of them.
Take a look at what exactly happened at one Sonoma County's homeowner's house. Rattlesnakes just chilling under the Santa Rosa house. The house would belong to the snakes at that point. Officials with Sonoma County Reptile Rescue posted these pictures. The group, get this, removed 59 baby and 22 adult snakes from under that house. That was just on the first trip. Crews went back out to that house and pulled out 11 more rattlesnakes from under that house. The entire process took nearly 4 hours, but despite all of those rattlers, no one was bitten. Like I said, the house would just belong to the snakes.
So this story leaves me with more questions than answers, which usually isn't how the and another things story goes. Like, was the person breeding them? Was the house abandoned? Like, there was very little information given here, except that there were a lot of snakes somewhere.
Yeah, I can only imagine that there was some sort of transfer happening, or a sale, or maybe just an inspection, right? And they came across this issue, or they were doing some renovation perhaps at the house, and just hadn't really torn the place up in a while, and no one had really looked under the house. But I just can't imagine that you've got almost 100 snakes living under your house, and you hadn't noticed if someone's living there. So I'm guessing this was like a reno or a reclaim or a condemned house, and they were just doing an inspection, found that, and the property owner was like, yeah, let's get the snakes out because it would be really difficult to sell this place with snakes.
Yeah, there's just a lot of questions here. I don't know, was someone occupying the house at the time? I just don't know. Chat's asking, like, what the fuck were the snakes eating? Like, that's
each other.
That's actually a good question. Like, was somebody feeding them?
Mice.
Maybe
they had a mice problem. Infestation problem. They put one snake down there, right? They're like, oh, we'll get the mice with our snake. And the snake like, oh, we lost the snake. And the snake laid eggs, and some other snake came by, or like they had that thing where the snakes, change gender, in small populations, and they fertilized their own eggs, and suddenly there's just a ton of snakes, and the snakes ate the people. And then suddenly someone came over to the house and was like, where is everybody? And they opened up the floorboards and like, oh, snakes. Who knows? Anything's possible.
I'm just telling you, there's a lot missing from this story.
We'll never get the full story unless we go on Nextdoor for that neighborhood.
Oh God, I don't want to go on Nextdoor.
That's the only place you'll find out the scoop.
Don't ever go on Nextdoor. That's just the policy about Nextdoor around here. If you think you live in a nice community, you actually don't.
No, you do not. All your neighbors are trash. You have no idea. And you can actually, on Nextdoor, you can see exactly where they live. You can see exactly where the trash live in your neighborhood. So
that's the other reason not to go on Nextdoor. It's a privacy nightmare.
It is really. So, hey, enjoy your interview with Walter. That's going to be awesome.
It will be.
Thanks to everyone for watching and tuning in and downloading. We're excited to be one of the most downloaded podcasts called Downballot. So make sure you download and listen and tell your friends. We are not afraid. We are not afraid if your friends know about the show and want to listen too. So please tell them. And that's all I have.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for listening. This is Cleopatra by Gundacker. I'm going to play this song, and then I have a pretty cool new thing I'm going to show you real quick before we get ready for Local Love.
Show me your thing.